Have you ever landed on a hospitality property website and felt confused? This terrible user experience is the result of a poor branding strategy. There are things you can do so this doesn't happen to your website, and I'll explain. Welcome to another edition of Hospitality Property School. I am your instructor, Jerry McPherson. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. And make sure to hit the little bell so you'll be informed when I upload a new video. You won't want to miss anything I designed especially for you. Why is branding your hospitality property important? One of the easiest ways to build a relationship between your hospitality property and customer is with a convincing brand. But what does it take to create a brand that creates trust? Well, a hospitality property should be more than just a place to sleep. A property is an integral factor in a travel experience, one that can make or break an entire trip. This is why your hospitality property must start sharing its unique experiences from the very beginning, way before your customer chooses your property and checks in. You can do this by making your branding a priority in your hospitality property's marketing strategy. The key to branding is to have a very clear and distinctive selling proposition that will appeal to your target audience. If potential guests only see that you're offering the same experience as your competition, the only thing you have left to set you apart is price, which can be a very risky precedent, as there's always someone out there willing to undercut you. Continue reading and I'll share the benefits of appropriate branding and branding your story, right after a word from our sponsor. Question for hotel, resort, inn, bed and breakfast, etc. owners and managers. What if, knowing how to open your hospitality property doors post-COVID-19 and giving your guests such a safe and amazing experience that they will not only want to return, but will rave to their friends, family, and colleagues about how great your place is, was as easy as cooking? Sound weird? Let me explain. Reopening your hospitality property using the post-COVID-19 action plan. No guessing, no testing, no wasted time. Just follow the proven recipe and make your property cook. Click the link for more information. And happy cooking! Before the break, I said I would share the benefits of appropriate branding and branding your story. So what are the benefits of an appropriate branding? Well, a good brand fosters personal communication with customers by building rapport, improving social engagement, and giving a personal story, which can increase first-time bookings and loyalty. Increased profits. A targeted audience is usually willing to pay for more services that will specifically fit their needs, wants, and desires. Reduce costs. When you know your market, you can make intelligent decisions of where to target your funds, and that could save you money. Happy customers. By managing your guests' expectations, you will have more satisfied customers. Less complaints. If your hospitality property has a specific brand identity, guests will be less likely to expect an experience other than what you provide. If you embrace the concept of marketing to a targeted portion of the travel market, it will lead to operating a profitable hospitality property with less of the stresses of a generic business model. So what is it about your brand that stands out? Well, you need to discover this and write a narrative that will make your hospitality property's brand one that guests will remember time and time again. Make sure it's something that is distinctive to your property and then apply it all across your brand. Everything needs to speak to your brand until your customers start discussing it themselves without having to be encouraged. Your branding is the voice of your property, so make sure your branding tells the tale of what is most precious about your hospitality property. A good branding story can most certainly do this. And once you're able to put a successful one together, you'll attract people back to your hospitality property time and time again. Is this making sense so far? Let me know in the comments. So what are the steps you should take in developing your brand story? Well, the first thing you should do is answer the following questions. What is it that makes your hospitality property unique? What differentiates your property from your competition? Does your building or area have an historical or are architecturally significant? Do you offer any extraordinary or outstanding services? Is there something intriguing about your design or features? Determine what, from your guest's perspective, makes you stand out from your competition, and build an identity around that. Once you've determined what makes you stand out, you want to communicate the benefits you offer with your branding, comparing them to other similar properties in the same area and with the same star rating. You also want to consider where you want your brand to be in the future, not just where your property is now. This allows you another gauge to evaluate all your future marketing decisions. So here are 6 steps to consider when planning how to brand your hospitality property. Step 1. Brand to a specific market. Hospitality properties that brand to a specific market normally have a higher profit and happier guests. Are you trying to attract corporate clients or leisure travelers? Is your perfect customer a backpacker or a luxury traveler? It's important to know who your target market is before you establish your brand imaging. This is to make sure that your property reflects the best you have to offer and helps you meet your end goal. You also need to consider where your target market comes from and ensure that the specific geographical locale should be reflected in your branding. Step 2. Connect on an emotional level. Successful hospitality properties deliver a distinct experience rather than just 4 walls and a bed. You want to be able to connect with your guests' emotional wants, the romance, the adventure, the visual stimulation of being in a new environment that is interesting and engaging. If you can do this, you'll be able to increase your revenue rate by standing out from your competition. Step 3. Being a big fish in a small pond. Determine what niche is not being served in your market and target that audience by marketing specifically to them. You'll probably find that your marketing costs will decrease because you're not trying to hit the entire general population. Your target audience will be more likely to book with you and be willing to pay a higher rate to do so. Step 4. Make it easy for your guests to market you. Today, this is a no-brainer. Social media rules. Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, YouTube, and all the other video and photo sharing platforms out there. Your guests are snapping and posting videos and photos left and right to show how exciting their lives and vacations are. Step 5. What does your brand look like? Now you should choose which visual elements to include in your branding, again based on your goals. Typically, visual elements of a brand include the company's name, logo, tagline, website design, collateral, etc., etc. Now, something to keep in mind, your logo should be very simple and easy to recognize, no matter where your guests see it. Over time, this image becomes associated with a level of credibility, quality, and satisfaction in the customer's mind. Your tagline should create an emotional connection between your potential guests and your property, illustrating the most unique elements of your property. Overall, your brand's visual image should communicate with potential customers why they should choose to book at your property over your competition. Your brand's image will develop over time through marketing and advertising campaigns with a consistent theme and will be authenticated through the customer's direct experience. And step 6, getting the message out. Once you have decided on the key elements of your brand and developed each piece to appeal to your ideal guests, it's time to start implementing your marketing, advertising, and public relations campaigns. Because you have identified your target audience, You can easily determine which mode will be most effective for promoting your property. Once you've decided on the best mode of marketing, remember to stay consistent with all the elements of your brand and your messaging across all channels. If you're a member of the Hospitality Property School group, as a bonus, I'm going to talk about the snags to avoid when it comes to branding. In conclusion, branding is important because it is not only what makes a memorable impression on your guest, but allows your customers to know what to expect from your property. It's the way of distinguishing yourself from the competitors and clarifying what it is you have to offer and what makes you the better choice. We cover more on marketing in the Guide to Owning and Operating a Hospitality Property Successfully book and course. You can find more information at keystonehpd.com. Do you have a branding strategy for your property? Let me know in the comments. You're going to have access to this episode for the next 6 weeks, and then it's gone, locked away in the vault for Hospitality Property School group members only. If you want to check out what you would have access to as a member of the Hospitality Property School group, check out the short video in this episode post show notes. In the next episode, I will talk about making your property memorable. That's it for today's episode. Until next time, have a fun day. If you have not yet signed up for Insider Tips, do it now. You can find the link in the show notes.